We're in the Memorial Hall of Lisgar Collegiate in Ottawa, and the Memorial Hall is dedicated to the former soldiers and those who died in both of the World Wars. Behind us we have the plaque for the Great War, the First World War, from 1914 to 1918. And if you were to go further into the hall, you would see that the names of all of those from the Second World War and from the First World War are on small plaques, those who served as well. The school was founded in 1843 as Ottawa Grammar School, and then it eventually was moved to this spot. It was a two-frame building at that time. It was moved to this spot in 1874, and a few years later, the current building, the smallest part of the current building, the part where we're standing, was constructed and then added to. So this year we are celebrating the 175th anniversary of the founding of the school, almost 25 years older than Canada itself. So it gives you an idea of the history of the school. I came here in 1970 and taught for 4 years. It was my third school, actually. I had taught elsewhere beforehand, and then I taught from 1990 to 2002 and stayed on as a supply teacher, only coming to Lisgar Collegiate for that, for 12 years. And I've been the volunteer archivist since 2002, since I retired. The Archival Office is in the basement. I think we are unique in terms of having an archives like this, but also we have an alumni association, and I think that's a rather unique thing for a high school as well. So a lot of it, of course, has to do with the age of the school and you know, the long history in the community. So people feel inclined to be involved in that regard. A lot of what we have is not only because of the Alumni Association or because we had an archivist, but I think once we had an archivist, more of an attempt was made to retain a lot of the important documents, especially ones that are particular to Lisgar and to Lisgar students. There is a plaque about Alexis Helmer. Alexis Helmer came to Lisgar Collegiate at the age of 13. I think it was in 1905. And he was here for 3 years and then went on to Royal Military College and subsequently to McGill University, where he graduated in 1914. And he enlisted 1913 actually. He enlisted in 1914, so he was one of the early ones to set off for the war. And he was killed in the Second Battle of Ypres in Belgium. And his death was witnessed by John McCrae, the composer of the famous poem In Flanders Field. So John McCrae was so touched by the death of this young man, whom he had known at McGill, in fact, and he was very devastated, of course, and he wrote the poem in view of having witnessed this death. It had a profound effect on him, as of course did the deaths of others in his regiment. Alexis Helmer is commemorated on the Menin Gate in Belgium, where those who died in Belgium and for whom there is no gravestone are commemorated. Well, some of the things that we have of interest, we have copies of Alexis. By the way, his nickname was Lex, apparently. There are copies of his attestation papers, the papers that he had to sign for the government, giving personal information when he signed up. We have his student card, his original student card from Lisgar Collegiate, and actually there is written on it, "Killed in action." We have, I procured from the House of Commons a copy of the page of the Book of Remembrance upon which his name is written, as well as the front page of that, which is beautifully illustrated. We have the yearbook in which his picture appears with his biography when it was discovered that he had died. So those are some of the publications that are down there. It's a wonderful example of loyalty and commitment. And of course, when you walk into this hall, it's a sober reminder of how many people fought or gave their lives for our freedom, to secure our freedom. And I think it's important for the students to be aware of this history. My big project right now, of course, is with the help of other people, getting things ready for the reunion. We're creating a lot of displays, as you can imagine. We're very anxious to welcome people back to celebrate the rich heritage of the school. And we also there are students on the 175th committee, and there are many students going to be involved in doing tours. So I'm hoping that they will come away from this weekend with a deeper appreciation of the school and what it has to offer.